Can't wait to talk to you about the Tylenol thing, Stu. Can't wait.
Can't wait. It's going to be lots of fun.
Because I know where you stand on this one. Oh, come on! I've had a glass of weed killer, and I'm still here.
And I look very pregnant.
So at the time, you did. Mm-hmm. You don't so much anymore. Was it the weight loss program or the weed killer? We'll never know. So here's what I would like to say. I would like to say, just on this quickly, liberals, thank you for finally getting it. Thank you for finally getting it. The government has come out and said, hey, we recommend that maybe pregnant women don't take Tylenol because it could cause autism. And most of you are going, that's ridiculous. Don't care what those 27 studies say. And I say to you, yeah, that's cool. Whatever. You do what you do. You want to take it? Great. You don't want to take it? Great. Government should recommend and leave us the hell alone. Thank you for joining us at that party. Would have been great if you would have been here 5 years ago. But thank you. You're cute. Appreciate it. Okay, now let's get to some breaking news. Sinclair canceled airing the tribute to Charlie Kirk because the stations got violent threats. ABC was getting violent threats. Several local stations were getting violent threats. One of them was actually shot up by a guy who we now know left kind of like a suicide note that said, and by the way, the Trump officials are going to be next. Well, not with you. Not with you, unfortunately, for your plans. So what does ABC do? ABC decides to say, you know what? We love Jimmy Kirk. He's back on the air. Stop shooting our affiliates.
Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel. Mm-hmm. We love Jimmy Kimmel. That was a weird hybrid, wasn't it?
Yes, that was. It was.
Might have been a good show if they would have put those two together. Anyway, Charlie Kirk would never have had half-naked women jumping on trampolines. And then,
would he have dressed up in blackface?
No, he wouldn't have done that either.
Would he have put his face 6 inches away from a woman's butt and acted like he was mocking having sex with her without her knowledge?
No, he wouldn't have done any of those things. Okay. That's weird. Seems like one of those should have been canceled a long time ago. But anyway, so ABC has decided, yes, Veronica, we do negotiate with terrorists. And he's coming back tonight. They said they've had a long talk with him, and they feel it's all going to be good.
I can't wait to see. I will wait forever to see it.
I can, yeah, I can.
But Glenn, you're talking about, according to Chris Hayes, the most serious and direct government action against free speech in our memory, and it's not even close.
Wow, I seem to remember the McCarthy hearings.
Well, I think he technically did say "in my life."
In your life.
So I don't think he was around for that. However, I can come up with a few others.
I do remember everything that happened to us. I do remember what happened to that guy who had a meme that went to prison.
Douglas Mackey. I'm going to talk to him today on Stu Does America about this exact thing. He's had some interactions with Hillary Clinton over this.
One.
That's a good one.
Oh, I've got something. I've got a break in 20 minutes. Remind me. I have a story from England that has been held. Bat crap bonkers, Britain. The podcast. You guys are both looking at me like I'm crazy. You've never heard of that? Wow. Okay. I'm going to save this. I'm going to talk to you. I'm just going to have to excuse them from the room.
Sure, no problem. Thank you. I'm going to take some Tylenol.
But I have something to break from England that has been held until the host came to America to come to this show. And she was told she cannot release this. So we're going to today. And you want to talk about what's coming in America with this kind of stuff? And no, the left hasn't seen anything like it. No. By the way, I don't want the government involved in any of this. If the local stations decide they don't want to carry the show, they have the right to not carry the show. If the local stations decided to be cowards and drop this show because they were getting, pushback because of something political, that would be their that would be their right to do it. That would be their right to do it. And it might be the right thing for them to do in their local station, in their local, affiliate. It might be. That's their decision, not mine, not the government's. Okay, you would have to react to that local station if it did it, and you wouldn't shoot the station up. The left has decided they want to shoot things up if they, decide they don't like it. For instance, let's kill all of the leadership of the Republican Party. Didn't happen? Oh, yeah, it did. June 14th, 2017. 4 people were wounded in a baseball game in Alexandria, Virginia. Do you remember this? Steve Scalise, the House Majority Whip, Capitol Police Officer, congressional aide, lobbyist, wounded. The guy planned on killing the entire Republican baseball team. He was a left-wing activist from Belleville, Illinois. He was a supporter of and a worker for Bernie Sanders. Then, of course, you had the George Floyd riots. I mean, let's just put these into perspective. We can look now and say the Charlie Kirk thing. And they'll say, yeah, but what about? Okay, all right. If you want to play whataboutism, let's just look at the scale of things. I don't want to play whataboutism. I think all of it is bad. I condemn all of it on the right and the left, all of it. But we should look at the scale, okay? Want to kill every single Republican? Nobody cared. Nobody cared. The George Floyd riot, the left celebrated it. At the end of the George Floyd riot, $1 billion of damage was reported and 10,000 people had been arrested. Then you have, the shooting of Donald Trump, and then the second attempted shooting of Donald Trump. Then you have the Charlie Kirk, let alone all of the other killings that have happened in between. We've had 3 shootouts. Here's one we told you about yesterday. I love this. Apparently in New Hampshire, witnesses say that this guy walks into this wedding and he screams "Free Palestine." But the officials in New Hampshire say that wasn't politically motivated. We think it was just trying to cause chaos. So it's not really a hate crime. Okay, I'm going to give you on the hate crime thing. I don't think it's hate. I don't think any of it is hate crime. I think it's crime. That's what I think it is. Crime. You want to kill somebody? I don't care why you want to kill them. You don't have that right. But I really, really hated them. Doesn't make it worse. You were trying to kill them, or you did kill them. I don't care if you hated them or just kind of like mildly disliked them. You killed them. That's the crime. But they're now saying in New Hampshire, that's not a hate crime. He's just trying to cause chaos. Still seems like a pretty big deal. Yelling "Free Palestine." Okay. Then you have the man.
Opposed to the calm and soothing normal attempts at hate crimes? Like
those. Yeah, that's the more. He was just trying to cause peaceful chaos.
Right. Normally they're not chaotic at all.
No, they're not chaotic.
When you're doing
the hate crime, you're like,
it's totally fine.
That was just a hate crime.
This one's separate. It's about chaos.
Yeah, right.
Making sure I understand.
Right. Then you got the guy who has just been arrested for aiming a laser pointer at Trump's Marine One while Trump was in Marine One. That was great. You now have the schools that are planning an October 7th Hamas massacre walkout for the schools. Hey, I've got something on the schools next hour you're going to love. And Donald Trump now doing what all hate mongers and all people who just want to silence others who are just mainly peaceful. He is ordering the new labeling of domestic terror organization to Antifa. That's going into effect. That's going to change everything. First of all, what does that mean? It means anybody who's funding Antifa. Anybody who's like, I was just told to leave this pallet of bricks here. I don't, what? I thought maybe they were putting in a, cobblestone and brick walkway here for some. Why'd you leave the pallet of bricks there? I didn't. I was just leaving the pallet of gas masks here. Where'd you get the money for that? Who set that up? How is that organized? How is it this ragtag of just scrappy guys who just, they're just independent lone wolves? How is this seeming so unbelievably well organized? Because that takes something they don't like. Organization and money. That's what Donald Trump is going after. I'm sorry, you can't be in an organization who's trying to have violent revolution on the streets of America. No, can't do it. That, again, not a hate crime. That's just a crime. So what is this going to do? This is going to have more people get more angry, and there will be more people that ABC will listen to and go, "What? We're with you. What are you talking about? We're with you." You're going to have more people start to become more and more radical. This is why you saw, remember when USAID, an organization that only nerds like us, okay? It was you and me, babe. It was just us. We're the ones who knew what USAID was. Nobody else knew what USAID was. Nobody. Even those people who are activists on the ground at a local level, they didn't even know they were getting some of their money from USAID. They had no idea. But the minute those doors closed, you saw every left-wing politician in front of those doors. This is the biggest totalitarian. You're like, wait a minute, what? It seems like we just touched a really sore spot. That's going to happen again because now Trump is using the federal government to go after anyone who's, and just try in your mind, because this is going to be fun to watch him do all kinds of mental gymnastics on this. Try in your mind to make a case against our federal government trying to find people who are trying to fund violent revolution and the collapse of the United States of America. How do you make that case? Oh, they're going to. They're going to. And things are going to get tough before they get better. We'll have more in just a second. First, let me tell you about Cozy Earth. Most clothes look fine on the hanger, but then when you wear them, they sag, they shrink, they cling, they stretch out, or they just fall apart. So before you know it, you start lowering your expectations. Do I keep wearing it? You just try Cozy Earth's products. Stop lowering it, okay? Everything will change. Clothes don't just look good, they stay good. Their fabrics are lightweight, breathable, strangely addictive. The joggers, really soft. The Everywhere pant is amazing. It actually lives up to its name, too. Everything is designed to last. No fading, no shrinking. No, what the hell happened to this? I washed it. The best part is you don't have to baby any of it. You just wear it over and over and again. And it's the kind of clothing that makes you look good. Looks like you really have your act together, even if you probably really don't. And then you can find something comfortable and reliable. Stop reaching for anything else. If you're ready to upgrade your comfort, go to CozyEarth.com. Use the promo code BECK. Get 40% off the joggers, the pants, the shirts, everything. You're going to love these. If you get a post-purchase survey, make sure you tell them that you heard it here on the Glenn Beck Program. Cozy Earth, built for real life. 10-second station ID. Next thing you know, he's going to be going after international terrorists too. Now he's going after the first it was Al Qaeda. Now it's Antifa. Oh, they were a trouble outside of the country trying to infiltrate. Now these guys are they're just Americans that want to blow up the government and kill everybody that believes in capitalism and anything else that they believe in. But they're just Americans, and they're here legally. And since when are Americans illegal? They're people too, I mean, with bombs. But they're people too. I can't wait. How do you make this case, Stu, that this is so bad? Because they're going to make it.
Of course they'll make it. That's their job. It's part of the reveal, right? You don't want the M. Night Shyamalan twist in advance, do you?
But I would like to stop saying, wow, never saw that one coming.
Yeah.
Of course we haven't a lot. We have seen it.
Very predictable.
I just wish, here's what I want. I want to stop saying, I wish other people would have listened. So they saw this one coming and we could have stopped it. But I think that's happening. I think people are waking up.
Why?
Why do you have to quiz me for facts? Why can't you just let me live in this happy bunny world? You know what I mean? Look at it's a little bunny over there hopping into the forest. Why can't I live in
We can go on bunny vibes if you want.
Yeah. No, I think, and this may be very short-lived. I hope it's not. I don't think it is. But the Charlie Kirk thing It changed me.
Yeah.
It changed me. I don't know if it's changed anybody else, but I think this is lasting change in me. And I will see.
Can you describe it yet? Do you know what the change is?
More dedication, less. I'm not as tired as I thought I was. You know, I was like, I'm tired of it. No, I'm really not.
These things don't work. This is a point that Tucker made in his speech.
Yeah.
And, there was some controversy over those remarks, as everything that Tucker says. I know. But, the point I think he was making was, this doesn't work. I mean, there's always somebody who thinks, oh, well, if we just kill our opponent, we'll
never works.
It doesn't work. It's not only the wrong thing to do, but also a plan that is ineffective.
I don't remember. It was some Greek philosopher, so I don't remember who it was. I quoted him the first day after Charlie Kirk. You kill a tyrant, and the tyrant's reign ends. You kill a martyr, and his rule begins. That is so true. Look at this. Charlie Kirk is 1,000 times more powerful now. It's like, again, I go back to Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's all true. Strike me down. You know, it is. It's absolutely true. And how? I mean, I guess maybe because it was, let's not make a martyr out of people who are in Al Qaeda. Let's not make martyrs. Let's not make martyrs. You know what I mean? Let's arrest them. Let's quietly kill them and dump them into the sea. If you believe that's what happened. Let's not make a martyr out of people. We get that. For some reason, darkness doesn't get that. And I'm glad it doesn't get it, because it just woke up a sleeping giant.
Yeah, you never hope for, obviously, anything like this to happen, but considering it has happened, now it's left up to all of us to try to make the best out of a terrible situation. And if you watch that rally and memorial service, I think you're seeing that there's a real wave creating that momentum.
Big wave. Yeah. All right. The United Nations, Donald Trump, next.
This is Glenn Beck.
So I want you to imagine you're walking into the grocery store where nothing is labeled. There's no origins listed on anything. Just, no sources. Just styrofoam trays of mystery meat that has a little flag that says "Product of the USA," and you're like, "That's okay, I'm good." Do you realize that over 4 billion pounds of foreign meat entered the U.S. last year, and much of it was legally labeled "Product of the USA"? Came over on a ship from God only knows where. Here's the solution. It's Good Ranchers. At Good Ranchers, every cut they sell is 100% American meat, raised right here on local farms. They done been born right here in America. Your door, the beef, the chicken, the seafood, pre-portioned, flash frozen, ready to cook, arrives right there at your front door. And it's not just taste. It is, although that's incredible, it's also about knowing where your food comes from and supporting the ranchers who still do the right things to feed us, the farmers and the ranchers. We have to support them. Shop America's best meat and visit goodranchers.com. Start your own subscription today. If you use my code BECK, you'll get an additional $40 off plus free meat for life. $40 off, free meat for life. It's goodranchers.com, promo code BECK. Welcome to the table.
Welcome to the free email newsletter. If you subscribe at glennbeck.com, we'll give you every story we talk about every day.
You might have. I turned on the mic too early, so I don't know if stations you heard it when I was like, it's almost $4,000 an ounce. 38.20 is gold now. Just want you to know, 5,000 an ounce is the magic number, at least for me. When it hits $5,000 an ounce, the world is in total chaos. I think it was Goldline that said not Goldline. I'm sorry, Lear Capital that was saying they had this thing that they were sending out forever. Gold could hit $4,000 an ounce, and I said, hurry before it's history. When they first started saying it, about 18 months ago, I was like, well, that's a stretch.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
really
going to
high. Yeah.
That's really high. It's going to take a lot to get us to $4,000. It's almost there. Just want to point out, maybe we should pay attention to real things. Real things. By the way, this Jimmy Kimmel thing, I just want to put this into perspective. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen, I'm cleaning this name up, Bat Crap Bonkers Britain by Katie Hopkins. I love Katie Hopkins. I think she is hysterical. She's also very, very crass, but she's hysterical. And she just tells it like it is. I got her in for an interview. It's going to be the Friday podcast that comes out for Blaze TV subscribers on Thursday. One you do not want to miss. Tomorrow I'm going to play a clip from it to show you, you have no idea. I think she has been persecuted one step down from Charlie Kirk levels. Okay, I didn't even know this until because she does not listen to this. Mm-hmm. Listen to it tomorrow. You're shaking your head now.
I am.
Listen to it tomorrow.
Okay.
Because she told me a story, I don't think she's ever told it before. And I just asked her a question, and then all of a sudden she started to cry, and she started opening up on the story that what happened to her. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, Katie, wait, what? And she went in the story for a little while, and then she got her humor back, and she was like, but it's not about me. And she became British again and kind of wiped her tears and went on. It's an amazing story. But that story came out of this story that you also don't know. So they're rounding up comedians, okay? They're rounding up comedians. You know the comedian that told the joke, the British comedian, what was he arrested for recently? I think at the airport, maybe? What did he say in English? It was like, nothing. It was controversial, but it was nothing.
It wasn't, yeah.
And he's now applying for...
Was it a trans one? Was it
is it trans?
I'm getting a few of these
Islam?
stories confused.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, you couldn't say it in England. It was a joke. It was a comedian. And, not necessarily a great joke, but a joke. He was arrested at the airport. He's now applying for asylum in Arizona. He wants to become an American citizen because he's like, I'm going to jail. Katie, I'm going to let her tell the story, but she was pulled into the police headquarters, like as she describes it, the head, like FBI style, and threatened that she was going to be thrown in jail. And I'll have her explain the joke, but she walks out after being told, you are never to talk about this in no uncertain terms, or you will go to jail. She read a statement on a video, and she's never posted it because she knows the minute I post it, I go to jail. And she wanted it released on American media because then Americans might pay attention to it because she's going back to England, and she said, I may be arrested on my way back in if you release this. And I'm like, well, do you want... What?
Are you asking us to release it? Or are you...
She's like, it has to be known, and I'm willing to go to jail for it. But I would just like the world to know what really happened. So here is the first time ever video made by Katie Hopkins that may put her into jail in the next couple of days. Listen.
It's Tuesday, the 5th of August here at Exeter Police Station. And I, Katie Hopkins, state as follows. I have attended this interview under protest as I was threatened with arrest if I did not attend. I consider this interview and the police investigation to be an unlawful interference with my right to freedom of expression pursuant to Article 10 ECHR Human Rights Act 1998. I reserve my position in respect of any actions I choose to take, including but not limited to a formal complaint and claim for damages against Devon and Cornwall Police. I run a comedy pub night called the Katie's Arms, live on my Instagram at 8 p.m. on Fridays for 30 minutes. I started the Katie's Arms during the idiocy of COVID lockdowns in order to help people struggling with their mental health. The Katie's Arms is now an international community of people wanting others to live their best life, laughing with me and at me. My audience choose to join me on my Instagram channel live. If anyone was offended, that is their choice. I do not republish or upload this content. It is ridiculous that my comedic speech is subject to a criminal investigation, and as such, my presence here is ridiculous. I will not answer any questions. And that was my statement to Devon and Cornwall Police today.
Now, what did she do? Now, she just said, I have a podcast called Katie Arms Pub. Pubs are important in England. That's where people go together and just, get to talk and everything else. And you couldn't do that during COVID. So she started the Katie's Arms. And she makes fun of herself most of the time. I mean, she's speaking about all kinds of stuff, but she makes fun of herself. And in this comedy bit, she was making fun of herself. Let me have her explain what happened.
So that video has never been seen before. That video I made on the day that I had to go and be interviewed under caution, which means recorded, 2 officers from the CID, the most serious of the police officers in the UK.
CID stands for,
Chief Inspectors Division.
Okay.
Some people say Chief Investigation, but either way, it sort of means these are the big boys.
Okay.
I was told I would be arrested if I didn't turn up for interview under caution, which is where they record what they're saying. It's basically gathering evidence in order that they can charge you. And I knew, and I was on my tour at the time, a stand-up comedy tour of the UK, and I knew the way the world works for me, that I would be arrested before one of my big events, 1,500 people in my audience, and I won't let that audience down. There will be a show, but not that kind of show. So I went to be interviewed under caution by the British police for my comedy pub night, Katie's Arms, where I made a joke at my own expense, actually about my epilepsy, that is perceived to have caused offence.
I get this language right. Is perceived to have caused offence.
And for the crime...
And you were making a joke about you.
Yeah, about my seizures and automatic weapons.
Sure.
We could join those dots, but it's pretty funny. I have a wine glass in my hand because it's pub night. Everyone knows it's pub night. But for the crime of telling my jokes online at my pub night, and remember, people have to join this. I'm not stood on a street corner...
Correct.
...shouting at the world like some lunatic.
Right.
They have to opt in to be there. Mm-hmm. But someone that opted in perceived that they may have been offended, and as a result, I was threatened with arrest. I had to go to a police station, be interviewed by 2 officers under caution. They kept me there for over an hour with insane questions.
Can you share? Like what?
Oh, yeah, sure. But I worked with a lawyer to write because I wasn't answering any questions. Mm-hmm. No comment on everything. But here's my statement that I read in the room, which states very clearly, this is ridiculous and you are ridiculous. And I was told, the officer, and I want this to be noted on record, I'm grateful for you for giving me the opportunity to do this in America. The officer stopped the recording, which is highly irregular, and told me if I discuss this, that will be seen as prejudicial to my case. So after she stopped the recording, she then effectively threatened me that I was not to speak about being interviewed under caution. And so I choose to share with you my statement and share with the world that this is what is happening in Great Britain.
Because you can't release it there, but if I release it, then you're not in trouble.
And maybe I am in trouble, but you have to go back to fundamentals of life, which is, does this make sense at any level? No, I'm okay with it.
This is, they just arrested another comedian recently.
Yeah, Graham Linehan.
Well,
yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah, he ran to Phoenix, actually, and applied for asylum. So he will be the first test case of asylum for UK comedians or speakers.
Please, America.
In America.
Please, Donald Trump. This is...
You have to go back to your instincts, right? And that was true for me in South Africa. That was true for me in Australia. That's true when dealing with the British police, because there is no law anymore. There's no such thing as the law in the UK. The law is just a tool of government control. So you have to go to your instincts. Am I in the wrong? No. So I choose whatever comes next. I welcome it because I'm not in the wrong.
Wait until you hear tomorrow. Wait until you hear what has happened to her in England tomorrow. And I do not believe this is hyperbole. It is one level down from what happened to Charlie Kirk. This is in England. For anyone on the right or the left that cares about Jimmy Kimmel, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? This woman is not threatening violence. And they're wanting to put her in jail. And they're doing it to other comedians. They're doing it to people who are regular people. And if it wasn't for this president, they'd be doing it here. I'm absolutely convinced of it. They would be doing it here. And they still might someday. God forbid, and we won't stand for it if it ever comes from our side. No. No. Freedom of speech. Unless it is directly inciting violence, no. Please watch it. Please spread this story. Get this out as far as you possibly can. People need to know this as she's going back, because she'll just be disappeared. She'll just be disappeared. And she won't be able to talk about it in England. No one will be able to talk about it in England, or you'll go to jail. So she left us this breadcrumb so America could pay attention. Because America, as you will hear tomorrow, you saved her once before. You didn't even know it. She just got here on a visa, and she stayed here for a while because of what she was facing over there. And I'm telling you, I've never heard anything like it. I've never heard anything like it. It was shocking what they are doing to her. And by the way, her epilepsy is, a joke to her. You know why? She asked me when we got off the air, I said, my daughter has epilepsy, had brain surgery. How's yours? And she said, I had brain surgery too. Put your hand. She said, are you easily grossed out? And I said, no. And she said, put your hand on the top of my head. It's flat because they took out so much of her brain that it's flat on top to stop the epilepsy. She's making fun of that, and somebody else says they might perceive some sort of oppression. They might be offended by it. Get over yourself. Freedom of speech now and forever. Patriot Mobile, if you want your phone bill supported, by you, and they support what you believe in, instead of the things you're fighting against, maybe you should switch to Patriot Mobile, because that's what they do. They're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and they donate a portion of every dollar you spend on organizations that defend freedom, faith, family, and the values that our country was built on. And every time you pay your bill, you're helping fund election integrity efforts, first responder support, pro-life causes, so much more. Meanwhile, you get reliable coverage on the nation's best networks without funding corporate activism that works against you. I'm just for the freedoms promised to us in the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. Why is that so radical? No woke agenda, no corporate nonsense, just a phone company that works and then does the extra mile and works for you. Switching is easier than ever. Activate it in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, your phone, or upgrade. It's time to make the switch today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Beck. Patriotmobile.com/Beck or call 972-PATRIOT. Use the promo code Beck for a free month of service. Patriotmobile.com/Beck or call 972-PATRIOT.
Glenn Beck. We'll be right back.
and hormone therapies and God knows what else. Not all of it gets absorbed. The rest ends up in wastewater, and most treatment plants do a terrible job filtering it out. And surprise, surprise, those leftover pharmaceuticals don't just vanish, they circulate back into the system and eventually maybe back into your glass. This is disgusting. It's disgusting. This is why you need Cove Pure. It's one of the only purifiers that actually tackles this problem head on. It's lab certified to remove up to 99.9% of contaminants, including pharmaceutical residue. The result is clean, crisp, safe water. Nothing added, nothing sketchy. Fits right onto your countertop. It's a really nice looking unit too. No plumbing is required. And it lets you choose your water temperature with the tap of a button. You want cold, you want hot, anywhere in between. It's simple, it's effective, and it gives you real peace of mind. Because if you're careful about what goes into your body, you should be just as careful about what comes out of your tap. Don't wait around for the government to solve this one. You might be surprised to hear they're not going to do it. CovePure.com/Blaze is the place to go. Right now, you're going to get $200 off while the supplies last. Take control of your family's health and the water that you're drinking. It's CovePure.com/Blaze.
Welcome to the Glenn Beck Program. Coming up in a minute, something that I actually want you to maybe take and share with your family tonight. If you have kids that are going into college, or you're thinking about it, or if your mom and dad want you to go to college and you're thinking about it, I want you to listen to just some, I think, logical reasoning here on universities and education and the future of your life. We'll talk about that coming up in just a second. Donald Trump is going to be speaking at the United Nations. He is not following France or anybody else on the, you know what, we agree Palestine should be a separate state. Well, the Palestinians don't want that. Okay, they want all of it. They don't want that. That's been offered for 90 years. But now with Spain and France and England doing it. By the way, ABC, they did what Meloni in Italy wouldn't do. They're not afraid of their Muslim population. Meloni, there was uprisings in Italy yesterday because they wouldn't go along with everybody else. But Meloni is brave and says, we're not going down that death cult road. Donald Trump isn't going to do it either. Watch.
This is Glenn Beck.